Hey guys, Elite Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 2 vs 2 battle for Medieval 2 Total War. I think it's the Lombardy map, I might be wrong though. I'm in command of the Moors. I'm allied with the Holy Roman Empire, commanded by Nad 1989, and we'll be facing, over here is Carlos Martel 8847, who is Spain, and down here is King of Macedon 64, who is Hungary. So, anyway, let's get down to outlining these armies, guys. I have 4 units of urban militia. These guys are not too bad. They're not the top of the line infantry. And I have 3 units of dismounted Christian guard. These guys are top of the line infantry for the Moors. I have 4 units of mounted Christian guard. And I have 2 units of these incredible, the fantastic Moorish camel gunners. These guys are incredible. Armed with the gun, obviously, they can inflict enormous damage. So we see that they deployed so far away from one another that we're going to go and gang bash or destroy the Hungarian player, who's more out in the open, so it'll be easier to take advantage of it than the Spanish player. So he comes in with, looks like he's got Hungarian Noble, which is the missile cav, and 2 Royal Banderium, which are very good heavy cav units. So I'm just going to shoot them into bits before they can even really harm me. My allies' army consists of, dismounted Feudal Knights, dismounted Imperial Knights, Teutonic Knights, several handgunners, looks like 3 of them, 2 more mounted Feudal Knights, and a couple of Raiters, which is a very good gun unit too. So that's him. So anyway, as you can see over here, I pretty much master out all the, just my gunners alone pretty much master out these Royal Banderium, and in conjunction with a timed strike from my Christian Guard cavalry, it causes a huge rout amongst his knights, which is very effective. So these Raiters are actually harassing them because Raiters, the difference between Raiters and camel gunners is the range on Raiters is drastically shorter, but their melee fighting combat is drastically superior. So one's better at long range, one's better at close range, basically. Raiters I like to use in a cause a whole heap of damage really close with the guns, and then charge them from the melee, and they can usually knock out most knights that way. And as you can see, he's had quite a lot of damage to these Royal Banderium and other units over here. While this is happening though, I'm harassing with my Moorish camel gunners, which are more of a long range unit, just sit back and shoot them at distance. So, but if they get caught in the melee, they'll get destroyed, whereas the Raiters will actually fight quite well. So what we're going to do is going to pull back our cavalry, and he's got some spearmen to assist, basically to keep out the Spanish player while we use the rest of our forces to destroy the Hungarian player. So I'm sending a couple of units of Christian Guard to go and assist in the destruction. Here's a second unit here, or basically blocking out Spain. While we just steadily, I move my guns to the flank, he's from behind with his Raiters, and we'll harass him and weaken him. And I've now got my I also have 4 units of Desert Archers, which I forgot before. They're in range firing. So as you can see, I'm inflicting quite a bit of damage. In this particular fight, the Feudal Knights appear to be chainmail armoured. In some of my other fights where I use them, they are plate armoured. So they seem to vary in that way. It's a unit that varies. Traditionally in the photo card of them, or the wee picture, they have the chainmail, but they, in a lot of my fights, they end up having plate. It's interesting. So he's got 7 units of these Bosnian archers, is not too shabby. There's about 5 of those. But now I'm just going to break through them as quickly as possible. My urban militia won't be as good as Feudal Knights. Interestingly enough, Hungarian Feudal Knights are stronger than Hungarian Chivalric Knights, which is an interesting thing. Most of the stats are the same anyway between them, but I'm going to come in, cause some big problems for him, and we'll quickly bash the Hungarian player with Macedon 64 out of this fight. As this is happening, I'm shooting his Royal Bandarium here, and I'm taking big casualties. And these Raiders, as you can see, they're going pretty even to toe with these Royal Bandarium. There's actually 2 Royal Bandarium going at them here, and yes, because it's 2, they are starting to win, but they were taking heavy casualties. So Raiders are good in close combat. So as you can see, we've put a line of cavalry up to deter the Spanish player from assisting his ally, basically. So we're going to steadily wipe them out. I'm coming in behind with my other 2 units of Christian Guard, and that'll rout the rest of the Hungarian line pretty quickly. And it's just murder for his men. Unfortunately for my gunners though, they've run out of ammo, except for this unit. I would have preferred they keep their ammo going, because they, what happens soon is a monumental blunder on our part when we deal with Spain. It is just, well, I won't spoil it for you, but it was quite shocking. Shouldn't have happened.
Enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
So the Hungarian player is well and truly beaten. I've outflanked him on every area, as you can see. As you can see, these dismounted the Imperial versions or the Hungarian Empire versions. They've also chain mailed, but you'll see in several of my fights I often get the plate armoured version. It's interesting. They do seem to vary. So he's going to admit defeat. So we're going to reorganise. And what's going to happen is the Spanish player is going to take advantage and try and get a nice hillside. But what happens is infantry get left behind as cavalry, and I sent a message to my ally to use his Teutonic Knights here to do a heavy charge against its infantry. And as you know in my previous videos, I mean, I say it all the time, heavy cavalry can just destroy heavy infantry with their lance. But he goes to do that, but he really blunders it quite horrendously. Without being mean, he really does blunder it quite horrendously, because it just doesn't turn out the way we want it to, and it's quite disappointing, because we could have been quite deadly and decisive with if he'd achieved it. I mean, we shouldn't have gotten to the mess of a situation that we end up getting in here. I'm just going to triple speed it, guys, because it's just us picking off some routers for the sake of the scorecard and preparing our men. So I want to come over here, and I wanted to swing up and go along here to nullify any height advantage he was going to get. So yeah, as you can see in this fight, my urban militia took a few casualties, but my Christian Guard didn't, so that's good, because I'll need them. But Spain is always going to be a hard opponent. Fantastic infantry. Conquistadors are just brilliant, and mixed in with Chivalric Knights, it's a great match, and same with their cavalry. And their musketeers are always very deadly as well. But as you can see, all his cavalry have gotten over here. These are quite some Santiago Knights. These guys are cool. So as you can see, look, if you look, all this infantry is completely left behind back here. I mean, look at Chivalric Knights, Conquistadors, and this is just a killing. And it's at this point I've been sending several messages for my ally to attack him now with a cav strike, while his cavalry is so far out of it. But he starts to realise his mistake and sends some cavalry back in time to save them, and that goes really, really wrong to my ally. But it's just a prime opportunity, really. But at the same time, he is quite far away, so maybe it wasn't the best timing on it. But nonetheless, if he had achieved it, he would have easily killed the Spanish player, because these guys are completely unsupported by cavalry. And as you know from my previous videos, heavy cavalry into heavy infantry is just dead meat. 2 charges and heavy infantry is dead. And I'm confident he probably could have got there in time too, because this cavalry is quite far away, about the same distance. He could have at least killed one. I mean, these raiders are coming in to harass, but what's going to happen is a lot of these conquistadors and things are going to be turned around to go and back to them, which is why I wish he kind of did it a little sooner. As you see, he's just sitting here or moving very slowly, but if he'd moved them in a lot quicker, he might have been able to effectively annihilate all this infantry before any of the Spanish cavalry could come and rescue them. I mean, just look at it, it's just sitting here completely unsupported, and these Teutonic Knights would have got there first if he'd been rushing them, but what's going to happen is, in a moment, a lot of the Spanish cavalry is going to have time to be able to go and get to them and assist them before they can be killed. He's also going to be able to move them into closer to support of his infantry, so this is where it gets kind of disappointing, and that the cavalry's on its way now, but like I said, if he needs to do it sooner, because as you can see, the Spanish cavalry is going to come and be able to intercept him, basically. And if he intercepts him and slows him down, and the infantry can then charge his mobile units, he will effectively be able to destroy the Holy Roman Empire's cavalry. But this is why he charged a little too late. And I was hoping while he was doing this to move my forces up around the flank here and take out the rest of these units on the hill, basically. That was the plan there. But as you can see, this Spanish cavalry arrived. My ally should have cut it out when that happened. I said to him, as long as his cavalry don't come into his support, you can effectively do this, but if they do, it won't work. But he decides to go for it anyway, and you watch what's going to happen. You watch. I mean, his unit just mounted feudal knights that's isolated. You could have killed them. But watch, he's going to get one conquistador coming in, two, and this charge, this big charge that could have knocked out tons of infantry, is going to be totally absorbed by this unit of conquistadors. They're going to take heavy casualties, but now he can just send in all his infantry, and he can annihilate this now bogged down and trapped clump of German or Holy Roman Empire knights. What he should have done is abandon this completely and get out of it and run back. He should have abandoned it. It was a good plan we had, but he didn't implement it very well. And as you can see, he's staying in the fight. These units are trying to get out, but they should have kept them out. He's staying in, and his combination of mounted units.
We must look to our own soldiers for victory now.
The combination of mounted and dismounted soldiers is going to ensure that these German units are going to get routed far too quickly. So that really could have been a decisive blow, but he was just too slow with it. His infantry are now completely trapped and isolated, so they're going to get dominated by these Spanish cavalry and infantry units. While this has been happening though, I thought, well, I might as well get in there and do as much damage as I possibly can to try and help my ally, so I'm going to wipe out the rest of these guys with my dudes. So I'm going to achieve that pretty decisively, kill these conquistadors and these muskets. But these German units are just going to get destroyed. The infantry is no match for the Spanish infantry, and the Spanish players got cavalry in support as well. So Carlos Martel is just going to dominate my ally here. He really, without being mean, he just really blundered this. It was unfortunate though, because he sounded like he understood what I was trying to do, but he just didn't pull out when it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, while this has been happening, I used my cavalry units to destroy his musketeers and his other cavalry. There's some Hungarian units. I didn't think they'd come back. And as you can see, look at this. I mean, even these armoured sergeants get a side charge and they just lost like 30 men and then rout. You see what I mean by that cavalry just owned that with spearmen too. So I mean, the Holy Roman player, if he had not been absorbed, the Spanish player had not absorbed his charge with his own cav, he would have absolutely destroyed all the Spanish infantry. At the moment he saw it wouldn't happen, he should have pulled out. Here I try a charge with one of my cavalry, a couple of my cav units. He's going to see it in time, and the sheer weight of numbers is going to be too much for them. So I'm going to pull, they're going to rout, but fortunately they should come back. The rest of his men are getting absolutely annihilated by mine though, which is good. So I'm bringing my men over. I now do have the height advantage to a certain extent.
Worthless allies have fled like whipped dogs. These curs are not fit to be called men.
So that was disappointing that it turned out so disastrously wrong. It really was a golden opportunity that just didn't take place, unfortunately. So I'm going to triple speed again, guys, while I organise my forces. My men are starting to feel quite tired, if I believe, which is not good. His men are far more fresh than mine, which gives him a distinct edge. So I will likely give mine a chance to rest themselves. Here's some musketeers being an absolute nuisance, so here's some more over here, so I need to be dealing with those while I organise myself. But my infantry is absolutely and utterly outclassed. I'm only using militia swordsmen for the most of my infantry parts. My Christian Guard could hold their own, and I got some good cavalry units, but then again so does, well, there is still some cavalry left, enough to stall my cavalry anyway, for Carlos Martel. So a real golden opportunity that was completely, really, utterly just ruined. It wasn't like a real bad mistake by my ally. He just didn't pull out when he should have. He kept going when the attack was basically nullified. He kept going, kept trying to do it, and at which point it was just his cavalry intercepted the Spanish cavalry intercepted them before the charge could connect. So if you do that, you just want to grab your cav and reverse it and get out of it. You might lose about 2 or 3 cav, not a big deal, that's not a big deal. It saves a lot more, but he stayed in it. And like I've said, if infantry can catch cavalry bogged down, they'll beat them. But if they get charged, they'll get destroyed. So that's why you don't want to let that happen, because as you can just see, this Holy Roman Empire army got clobbered. So I come forward here, and I'm going to do as much damage as I can with my archers, but I realise it's pretty forfeit for me to continue this fight that well. My camel gunners are no good in the melee, but if I can stall his cavalry with them, I'm going to do that. Sacrifice them now. They've got no missiles left, so their usefulness is pretty limited. If I send them into his cavalry, they might just absorb them, so it allows me to use my cavalry against the heavy infantry. That might just give me an edge. We'll see. So I'm pulling back my archers behind the line. His men are somewhat disorganised, but if I can use, they're getting pretty badly destroyed. I'm going to send one knight in to assist. All I want to do is stall the Spanish cavalry and use my other knights to wreak as much havoc on these cavalry to assist my own, infantry, to assist my own infantry. So I'm going to charge these conquistadors. I'm going to counter-charge. This charging is more useful, and then I'll get a nice hit on these feudal knights. Let's see, 63 down to, look at that, 36, and that was only a half strength unit of cavalry, and they were in there for about 5 seconds. That's what you want to do with infantry, a cavalry against infantry. So here I'm going to do a nice charge here. These conquistadors just go down to, they just lost about 20 men to like 10 cavalry.
Badly bloodied. They've lost half their men.
But I just don't have enough men left to keep this going. And he's got a lot better infantry than me. But if this is what I was wanting the Holy Roman Empire player to do, just do that sort of thing, get out. But he just stayed in it and he was absorbed, and it's left me with much too much work. Even
Dead. Pray our warriors' hearts filled with thirst for vengeance and not despair.
Even though my men do a very good job of actually inflicting quite a lot of damage on the Holy Roman Empire player, not the Holy Roman Empire, the Spanish player, it's too little too late now, really. my ally he really mistimed that cav strike, and it's cost us, but that happens sometimes. I wasn't really all that bothered when it happened, to be honest. It's just one of those things.
We have lost half of our men.
I probably should have communicated with him better on my part. I will take responsibility for that. He probably didn't quite understand what I was aiming at, so that wasn't good work on my part. But nonetheless, though, a bit of a shame, but never mind. It's just one of those things. But I'm going to inflict some heavy casualties. But as you can see, my infantry is just not up to scratch with these Spanish infantry, which are just fantastic. And I'm fighting right to the very bitter end, as is my style. In medieval theatres anyway, unless it's just a nuisance to my opponent.
Or we will taste ashes instead of victory.
So it's going to be a defeat, but very excellent work by Carlos Martel. He's come off nicely. But it's a testament to the fact that Spain is definitely the best faction in the game, in my opinion. Absolutely dominates the infantry field with their conquistadors. Their cavalry is extremely high quality. They've got good missile units, got good skirmish capacity. In my opinion, Spain is the best faction in the game, which is why I love them so much. And anyway, that's me pretty much defeated. So I admit defeat because I know I've lost, and I don't want to drag this out and be annoying.
Hey, we must eat the bitter.
So it's a close defeat. I had 1,351 men deployed, 1,068 men lost, 283 remaining, killed 1,233 and captured 540, so that's about 1,780 kills. Ned, 1989, he had 1,455 men, he got 1,230 men lost, 225 left, he got 529 kills and 146 men left. Carlos Martel, 8847, who will feature in several of my other videos, has 1,621 men deployed, 1,041 men lost, 580 remaining, and he got 1,000 kills with 763 captured. So me and him got pretty much exactly the same if we all round it all up. He had about 1,770, I had about 1,780, so perhaps like 10 extra for me. And King of Macedon had 1,673 men, 1,147 men lost, 526 men remaining, and 458 kills and 7 captures. So cavalry, as you can see, loads of kills, loads of captures. Cavalry always dominate this game. Look at this, 161, 124, 124, 91, but look at this, 132, 122. Camel gunners, an amazing unit. Look at this, 122, 154, and the captures are like 80 and 70, so that's like over 200. That's like 250, 230, 250 each there. Over 200 in both cases, all around there, so they are a really good unit. My archers, 50, 45, 53. My urban militia, not so great really. They're not the top of the line infantry, they're not too bad, but just mounted Christian Guard though, they did pretty good. What else? We'll see, hold on. And yeah, so it's all about the cav. Those gunners are just fantastic, love them. Anyway, it's a great game too. NAD 1989. Shame you kind of mucked up the time, but it's not a big deal. You still played well, and you're a good support against Hungary. Just if you ever get your cav snagged by other cav in a situation like that, you want to pull out. Otherwise they'll get defeated by the infantry when they're snagged and bogged down like that. Well done Carlos Martel, 8847, very good, and nice game to you King of Macedon 64. So thanks for playing guys, and thank you for watching viewers, hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave comments, and yeah, I'll see you soon next time.